Hello, let's discuss the embryological derivatives from the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. First, we will discuss the derivatives of the ectoderm. Ectoderm consists of surface ectoderm, neural tube, and the third one is neural crest. So, from the surface ectoderms, the ectoderm is the external layer or outer layer, and from the surface ectoderm, the epidermis arises adenohypophysis, which arises from the Rotke's pouch, lens of the eye, epithelial linings of the oral cavity, sensory organ of ears and olfactory epithelium, anal canal below the pectinate line, parotid, sweat, and mammary glands. These all structure arises from the surface ectoderm. And one clinical note is that the craniopharyngioma, which is the benign Rotke's pouch tumor with cholesterol crystals and calcification. Now the derivatives of the neural tube, so we can remember it as neuroectoderm. Okay, neural tube is also called neuroectoderm, and the structure which derives from it is mostly of the central nervous system. So the brain structure like neurohypophysis, CNS neurons, oligodendrocytes, astrocytes, ependymal cells, pineal gland, retina, and spinal cord also arises from the neuroectoderm or neural tube. Then the derivatives of the neural crest cells, we can remember it by motile passes. So the structure which derives from the neural crest are melanocytes, odontoblasts, tracheal cartilage, enterochromaffin cells, leptomeninges, which consist of arachnoid and pia mater, peripheral nervous system ganglion, which consist of cranial, dorsal root, and autonomic ganglion, adrenal medulla, Schwann cells, spiral membrane, which converted to aorticopulmonary septum, endocardial cushions, also derived partially from mesoderm, and the skull bones. These all structure arises from the neural crest cells. Then the derivatives from the mesoderm. So let's discuss the derivatives of the mesoderm. So from the mesoderm, muscle, bone, connective tissue, serous linings of the body cavities, for example peritoneum, pericardium, and pleura. Spleen develops within foregut mesentery. Cardiovascular structures, lymphatics, blood, wall of gut tube, upper vagina, kidneys, adrenal cortex, dermis, testes, ovaries, and microglia. So these all structure arises from the mesoderm. Notochord induces the ectoderm to form neuroectoderm, which is called neural plate. Its only postnatal derivative is the nucleus pulposus of the intervertebral disc. So the derivative or the postnatal derivative of the notochord is the nucleus pulposus of the intervertebral disc. And the mesodermal defects are called vectral. So vectral mean vertebral defects, anal atresia, cardiac defect, tracheoesophageal fistula, renal defects, and limb defects, including bone and muscle. Now the derivatives from the endoderm. So endoderm is the internal layer, and from it the structure which derives from the endoderm is gut tube epithelium, including anal canal above the pectinate line, and below the pectinate line arises from the ectoderm. Most of the urethra and lower vagina derive from urogenital sinus. Luminal epithelial derivatives, for example lungs, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, eustachian tube, thymus, parathyroid, thyroid follicular, and parafollicular cell. These are arises from the endoderm, which is the internal layer. Okay, internal layer of the trilaminar disc.